And welcome back to Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age Struggle for Freedom playthrough. Last time, we did the Rogue Tomato mission, and now we're about to claim a reward here. I decided to keep the speed multiplier on because I can get from place to place very fast, as opposed to the old PS2 way of just chugging along, which would take a hell of a lot longer. So yeah, basically, in this video, we're going to be moving on to the Giza Plains. Although I'll be covering the second half of the Giza Plains in the next video. Because like I said, I'm trying to keep parts relatively short. So what I'm doing here is, once you collect some loot, you want to visit a nearby shop. It doesn't matter which one. And when you do sell off your loot, you're going to occasionally, depending on how much loot you sell, unlock a deal in the bazaar. So that's why looting, like, in terms of that, I mean, enemy drops or stealing is pretty essential if you want a money grind. There'll be a lot more effective ways to money grind down the road. And of course, I get the unassuming circa, I think it was. I get chromed leather, which I can't equip yet because I'm under the struggle license board. If you're under the Freedom License Board, then you should be able to get, I think, a little bit easier. But definitely the most important thing you should be getting are spells, because you are going to need some magic coming up in just a little bit. So definitely one of the first things you should be doing right here, right now, is you're going to go to the magic shop here and buy whatever magic spells you can get. Thankfully, in my case, I just have enough. Yeah, having cure, having an ally of cure is very essential here, because it basically helps you save on potions in a way. Although, because of how this mod has rebalanced some enemies, you might still have to use some potions along the way anyways. Because the enemies that you might have seen do hit a little bit harder, so they're not just a walk in the park anymore. But that doesn't mean it's not manageable or anything. You just have to kind of be a little bit more prepared than you normally would. Anyways, you talk to Tomaj, the same guy who told you about the hunt from before, and he gives you a reward, and it tells you about a clan that you can join that can take on further hunts. Now what you want to do is, every once in a while, you want to check the hunt board here, where petitioners place their bills to have you track down certain monsters. Thankfully for this one, you talk to the guy sitting right next to you. Now you can tackle him whenever you want. This is not by all means a mandatory thing to be doing, but if you want to go after all the hunts, this is one method I recommend how you do it. You basically go for the hunt as soon as you can, and then when you got time, just do it. And along the way, it's preferable, especially in later cases, it's preferable that you have a guest party member with you, so you can have like an extra party member to help deal damage and heal whatever it is that you need to do, depending on how hard the hunt itself is going to be. Alright, so there's a clan hall there. You can't get in until you talk to the conspicuous Banga. And we're about to see a familiar face. Everyone, meet Montblanc from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Yeah, he's a clan leader here. Every time you go to him, depending on how many bosses you take out, he'll give you more and more rewards. Of course, he also has some hunts of his own. These are what you call elite marks. They're not available right now, but elite marks are typically tougher than your regular hunts. So you might want to be a little more leveled up for those elite marks. Should you try to tackle some. But in terms of a reward from Montblanc, you can there's also a item shop south of the clan hall, which I don't show off here, but I will later on down the road. there's a shop you can go to where you can buy green magic. And green magic can range from being meh to situational, but we'll get into it later on as we go. But that shop down there, south of the clan hall, is the only way you can buy green magic in the game. Now we're in Lowtown here, and I do a little bit of exploring because sometimes there's some treasure roaming around. As I may have mentioned in the last video, the game does have a treasure respawn mechanic to where every time you enter and exit a room or a map, you can respawn the treasure. It's particularly useful if you're looking for something very specific. But you don't need to worry about that just at the moment. The only time you can do it, of course, if you're trying to item hoard, where you get free random items every time you respawn a map. Now, I do remember in the original PS2 version, there was a certain set of items that you couldn't grab if you wanted to get arguably the strongest weapon in the game, the Zodiac Spear. One of which was in front of O'Dallin's house, where once you pick up the treasure, that won't respawn. Basically, if you pick up the treasures that don't respawn, then you miss on your chance of getting the Zodiac Spear. Thankfully, I recall in the PS4 version, and I believe Steam version as well, they fixed that. So now there's like a 1% drop, a 1% chance of finding the Zodiac Spear in the Hene mines, which you're not going to be able to get until way later in the game. But I do recall when I was playing the PS2 version, that was actually one of the reasons why I kind of got turned off of it, because what if there's some treasure I really would like to have, but I can't grab it because I need to hold off on grabbing it until I get the spear, which I think is I just didn't like that. I just didn't like that method to get one of the stronger weapons in the game. That's why I prefer the PS4 version over anything else. But pretty much in Lowtown, it's pretty much where it's kind of like equivalent to the slums when you think about it, where people just kind of live there, hang out, because they have no other place they can go at the moment. And there are some various item shops you can go to, but they mostly sell you know, normal items like potions and eye drops and things like that. I mean, it's great if you want to make some small purchases. Remember, we got another. Yeah, that's what they replaced the treasure with. Now it's just regular respawning treasure. For some reason, I think it's always the echo herbs. I'm not sure why. All right, now we get to meet O'Dallin. Let's see what he has to say.
Ah, if it isn't Von Ratsbane. Come for a tip on how to secure something bigger and in armor by the East Gate?
What? You already heard about that?
Wise I may not be, but well informed I am.
They'll get what's coming to them someday, believe me. But that's not why I'm here.
Do tell.
I want to know how to sneak into the palace. They've got to have some great stuff in there. Thought I'd partake.
Not one to mince words, are you, boy? The Empire protects all that's hers, and that means the palace and all the treasures inside.
That's why I'm gonna do it. To take back what's ours.
So our champion of the sewers aspires to noble action. Admirable. Perhaps I can help you. Ah, now that I think on it, there was a rumor. Yes, a secret passageway into the palace vaults. A door and a magic stone that opens the way.
That's it. This is exactly why I came to talk to you first, Dallin. So, where's this, magic stone?
Oh, I've had it for years, if I can remember where I've tucked it away.
Alright, so now we got a new task here, and is find this crescent stone. Now, in order to power up the crescent stone, we need to feed some power from sunstones, I guess is what they're calling it. Yeah, no, not the Pokemon item Sunstone where you can evolve your Pokemon. But you'll see in a little while. But the Giza Plains will have at least, I think, 5 dark crystals. I think, yeah, roughly 5 dark crystals for you to gather power from. You don't need all of them. As a matter of fact, I recall a couple times you're able to get away with just going to 2 dark crystals. But for the most part, you are likely only needing to get 3. And of course, the orange crystal right there, you see, is what you call a teleport crystal. If you run into more of them, and if you have teleport stones, which would be pretty easy to get later on down the line, you can warp from one location to the next. You do have to tag them though in order to be able to teleport back and forth. So welcome to the Giza Plains. This one is a little tougher than the Extra Sand, not by a whole lot, but the hyenas, I know the aggressive monsters and other aggressive monsters will gain up on you if they see you in sight. So you want to try to keep this as one-on-one as best you can. I'm going to do a little bit of grinding here because again, as much as facing every single different enemy might be a bit boring, it is necessary to not only to level up, but you also want to grind on license points. You want to get loot so you can make more money. These Giza rabbits, sometimes what will happen is if they remain idle, or if you remain idle rather and you're hurt, they may occasionally cast a protective spell on you. Whether it's they might cast some white magic on you, whether it's cure or protect. I do know there are some NPCs with green health bars that will do it. Of course, now unfortunately I have to deal with 2 hyenas, and I'm getting ganged up on right now. And once again, I nearly die here. Yeah, I got lucky that that wasn't a critical hit of any kind, because that would have been like, okay, first game over you were seeing in the playthrough. Thankfully, though, the game has an autosave feature to where every time you enter a new map, the game autosaves. So instead of having to go back to an actual save point, you can just go back to the autosave. You can just go back to the point to where you autosaved, and you can pretty much continue right where you left off without losing much progress, which is a good thing. I do like that in an RPG, especially if you've done so much grinding and made so much progress, and all of a sudden you die. You can at least go back to the loading screen before you die, and then you just think better on your strategy. And I think you keep the items that you collected too, which is also a good thing. Now these Giza rabbits here, if you do try to attack them or steal from them, they will initially run away. They will attack on occasion, but if they're weak, they'll definitely start running away, as you've seen right here. What makes them annoying sometimes is they might make you run into more enemies. And it's just basically, they just gain up on you and you have to fight more enemies. And it just becomes a bit tiring after a while. But there's a particular hunt that does that to you later on down the road, and I am so looking forward to it. Not. I think you all know who played this game through and through, know which hunt I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so, yep. Grab wool. Those can give you if you manage to sell a couple of those, you will get like an antidote set, which basically gives you a pack of antidotes, which is nice for removing poison. You might run into Cartographer's Guild Mugos here. They'll sell you maps, and some of them are actually pretty cheap. Like this one right here, it's only 30 gil for the Giza Plains map. You don't have to buy them, but it's nice so that way you can get the whole map covered. That way, if you ever need to figure out where you are, you have the map to show you. And of course, there are some more weapons here that you can buy if you save up a little bit. Techniques are they're a little wishy-washy for me because some techniques can be pretty good. Like steel is obviously quite good. What else is good? Revive can be good if you're I think if you want to sacrifice some HP, charge is pretty essential for mages and whatnot. But you run into not so useful techniques like Traveler or Numerology. Those are weird damaging techniques. Although some good ones would be Gil Toss if you have a lot of money, Telekinesis if you're dealing with a big flying enemy that you can't reach normally, Shades of Black if you and actually I've been able to pull this off a number of times before. Shades of Black, you can randomly cast strong black magic. No, we got Penelo here too.
Penelo? What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same, though the answer is pretty clear. No good.
What? I'm being good.
Is that right? So then you wouldn't mind if I, say, tagged along, would you?
Huh?
Oh, don't worry. Miguelo's busy with preparations for the fete up at the palace. Why, I'm free for the whole day. Well, let's get going.
Alright, so now we got Penelo joining your party. Penelo is more of a her class is the dancer from Tactics Advanced 2, if you remember that. That basically, she functions more like a support character, I think, with some degree of white magic, time magic, and also some black magic too. I show off a little bit of it, but not all of her license board. But she can also do some melee, apparently, more than just rocks. She can also use poles too. So if you ever need her on the combat front, you can give her some poles. And I guess in case you haven't already figured it out, I'm doing a all struggle run, where I'm not gonna get the ones that I would normally like at my own leisure. I'm getting the ones that are basically in the way, pretty much. But as it is, at least if you buy the cure spell, she'll already have that equipped. So that'd be really damn good, especially if you need emergency healing. And you can gain MP really fast just by running around. It's just, of course, while you're battling, that's when you really need some ethers to replenish some of that MP back. Or a charge if you want to do some emergency healing. Of course, that's just me checking the map here, just to make sure I can plan out my path here on where I want to go. Oh yeah, and this is where Penelo introduces you to Gambits. Gambits basically makes your characters auto attack. There will be more in-depth Gambit setups later on down the road. that diamond icon you saw earlier in Ravenester, that was the Gambit shop. That's not gonna be necessary for a while. But if you want your characters to auto attack, you do want to have Gambits on. And of course, I unfortunately don't have like another armlet I can give to Penelo at the moment. I know there's a bangle, but I don't have the money for it right now. Plus, I mean, Auto Libra is nice, but there are better ways to figure out enemy weaknesses. I mean, basically, the other thing about Libra too is that once you target their weakness, there's a gambit where you can always use, let's say, a water spell. If the enemy's weak to water, it will always use a water spell to those that the game knows is weak to water. So you really only need Libra once, I believe. After that, you don't need it again. So basically my plan here now with Penelo in the party is to steal while Penelo attacks. And again, if you want to have an easy time here, you want to keep every fight at least one-on-one. Well, two-on-one in your case, as much as possible. Because you don't want, like, yeah, what's going to happen to me right here. You don't want other enemies to gain up on you because the damage can rack up really quickly, quicker than you think. And Penelo isn't exactly what you call a damage sponge. So this is one of those situations where you have to really pay attention to your HP a lot more closely than usual, because again, you never know. So yeah, you know, always be mindful for who you fight. There are a couple enemies that I highly recommend you avoid. You'll see them in a little bit. The werewolves, the big giant monsters with the huge axes. They can one-shot you at this point, doing at least 400 something damage, maybe a bit more. I do not recommend that you fight them or even try to steal from them because they are not only aggressive, but like I said, the moment they hit you, you're dead. So I would recommend you stay away from the werewolves at this point in time. You're just simply not leveled up enough to handle them at the moment. Of course, this big monster here, Slave, used a powerful stomp attack that took away, like, basically 7/8 of Penelo's health right there. Goddamn. And of course, Penelo dies. I only have 4 Phoenix down to my name. And this is what I was talking about from before, how this place can be a bit harder. I recommend you try to keep aggro on Vaughn the best you can, because Vaughn has basically double Penelo's health, and he can take hits better too. I mean, this level is not anywhere hard, but it can throw a monkey wrench in your plans here. And like I said, some enemies that might see you from afar can just run in and join the battle, which does make it rather difficult for you to deal with. Especially if you're constantly healing, you always have to, you know, use up your potions and whatnot because you're getting hit that many times. And not only that, but they always target the healer. Unfortunately, I don't have a gambit where I can have someone assume aggro, but I know there is at least I'm pretty sure there was an ability that you can make enemies go after only just you. I'm also thinking of a different Final Fantasy where you can basically taunt the monster in question, and then if you have good enough defenses, you can just stand their shots while the casters do their thing. Oh, there is a spell in this game, I just remembered. It's the lure spell, where the enemies are more likely to try to hit you than anyone else in the party, which would be useful if you have a high evasion set, or if you have a high defense set with, like, protecting stuff. And I got an achievement right here. I get Assault Striker. There'll be other more achievements I'll be getting, I'm sure, down the line. It's just a matter of when and how I get them, of course. Yeah, so, like I said before, you just want to make sure Penelo's health stays up because she's your primary healer. And goddamn, these guys are hitting me like nothing else. So you always want to cure if you're at least below 50% health. Because, again, you never know when the damage can just keep piling on and on and on. And thankfully I was able to steal another potion there. One of the many I know I'll be using. Thankfully, Vaughn took the hit that time. So otherwise, Penelope would have died there. I would have had to waste another Phoenix down. Ooh, boy. Yeah, how are you liking the Giza Plains so far, guys? Good track, you know, it's pretty spacious. And there's some items that you can have here. I know you can get the leather shield around this particular area. It doesn't always spawn. That's the other thing, too. Some treasures have a chance to spawn a different item, depending on the location of the chest itself. Like, sometimes it can just be a regular item. Sometimes it can be actually a good item. And I know that if you have what you call a diamond armlet, which is a accessory that allows you to sense rare treasure, most of the time it'll just either be a knot of rust, or it could be something really, really powerful, like a meteorite or something. Sometimes the diamond armlet, you might be able to unlock more treasure, like stronger items and such. Ooh, and Penelope got hit hard again. Yeah, I've come to near death already a couple times in the Giza Plains, which is pretty ridiculous at this point. But I guess then again, that's the challenge. This mod is here to make sure the enemies are a little bit tougher than your normal playthrough. Yeah, and sometimes these hyenas also have an alpha leader. And the alpha leader tends to hit a little bit harder than normal. Yeah, and they also, you know, lack of a better term, pack of wolves that have to gain up on you. My God, I mean, this is like I use up all my Phoenix downs just to revive Penelope. Well, if you didn't believe me how much more difficult the game got, well, you better believe me now. But I am pretty sure that but by the time I gather up some license points, I should be able to upgrade, I think, Penelope's HP, so she can actually live a little bit longer. Alright, so this wolf should be dead. There we go. And I leveled up. Huzzah. But the problem still lies that Penelope still has really low HP. Oh, and that treasure I got here was blind. Basically, the enemy's accuracy will get cut in half. Don't have blind, unfortunately, but what are you gonna do? And I'm thinking that another thing too. Sometimes in certain spots, not a rare enemy, but like a one-time enemy will appear, and then if you want to get him to respond, you have to leave the map and come back again. Sometimes you have to leave 2 maps and come back again. Yeah, you got 2 achievements in the same video. Yeah, there's a hyena right there, which I'm going to ignore. Oh god, and to think, I have 4 things and I had to use all of them in one video. All of them just to revive Penelo. I may actually consider leaving the Giza Plains temporarily just so I can restock on some items and then get back to where I need to be. And if you do notice that by the next video, it would be because I would either do some offstage grinding or I did some offstage farming to make money and then refill in some items. But I will do the best I can to do a little. Well, I mean, if I'm going to be just doing this off screen, then it won't be that big of a deal. But I will try to get back to the exact same point where I was as soon as I possibly can. Because considering how difficult this mod can be, you know, I'm not gonna take any chances of being a special point in dungeon and then have no means of revival. So I may have to restock on some Phoenix Downs. Potions I'm not too worried about. At least not at this point. Yeah, and see these other big brutes in the background right there? The ones walking around with the big tail? Those are the werewolves. And those werewolves, you do not want to provoke them. If they see you, they will dart after you. Alright, this guy should be going down pretty soon. There we go. I'll try to get the treasure the best I can without getting spotted, but I can't guarantee anything. Although, if you do get spotted, you do have a chance to run away if you hold down the R2 button. The rabbit right there, I advise you leave alone because you could run into those werewolves over there, and you'd be in a world of hurt. Yeah, this time I didn't bother stealing because I know I'm at the nearest safe point and I can always go over there. Got me a potion. I'm gonna try to get that one last treasure if I can. Oh crap! Yeah, they noticed me. Shit! Run away! Yeah, if you run away far enough, they'll stop chasing you. Try to take a moment to breathe and say thank God, and good riddance too, at least for now. Alright, so now we're able to meet up with Jin. Next time we meet, we will tend to him and see what he needs. Till then, see you guys later.